New laptops are crazy fast. Facebook's going back to the way things used to be, and Nvidia would never do this, but there's 40, 90, 48 gigs out there. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're gonna be going over the hottest tech news I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Friday, March 28th, 2025. And we're gonna start off today by announcing the winner of the Falcon Northwest Talent Assassin's Creed Shadows custom gaming PC powered by Intel with the i7-14700K. Falcon Northwest put this up for giveaway. You guys entered, and we have a winner. But before I say who that is, Falcon Northwest promised you guys that I would bench press this thing, and I have to do it 10 times. So I guess I'll do like a, nope. Why are you not moving, chair? I'll do like an inclined one. Whoa. Wrong button. Does this not lean back? The chair doesn't lean back. Okay. All right. I don't know. How do I gotta lay on the table? Is that the best way here? There's like not that much room between me and the microphone. Bench press this 10 times. Hopefully the table doesn't fall down. All right. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, hit my phone. 9, 10. There you go. All right. Falcon Northwest, I don't know why you wanted me to do that, but I did it. And now the person who won it can get all my dirty gamer sweat. Congrats to Debo Goswami. You're gonna be contacted by Falcon Northwest in order to get this bad boy shipped out to you. We'll pack it up, make sure it goes out to you. Fantastic PC, gorgeous looking setup. Big thanks to Falcon Northwest for caring about our community and providing it for you guys. So with that ridiculous show out of the way, let's talk about the ridiculous showing that is the brand new laptop processors and graphics cards that are being unveiled. We have both unofficial stuff as well as official stuff. Unofficial, the 9955HX3D getting tested, and officially the RTX 5090 benchmarks for mobile came out yesterday, and the rest of the RTX 50 series lineup for laptops is supposed to come out today, I believe. But while it's not gaming performance, the synthetic benchmarks that we're seeing for the 9955HX3D, that's a mouthful, show that it's incredibly fast. It's 20% faster when it comes to Cinebench. It's slightly slower when it comes to Geekbench 6 and PCMark 10 than the AI Max Plus 395. But these synthetic benchmarks numbers are actually quite impressive for a chip that, again, is 3D Vcache. So what's likely going to happen is, even if in benchmarks such as Geekbench or otherwise the 395 is outperforming it, the 9955HX3D is going to be faster when it comes to just gaming. Same graphics card to same graphics card. That 3D Vcache enabling just better gaming performance overall, which is what the 50 series is doing in gaming laptops. Video Cards has a roundup of the RTX 5090 reviews for mobile that have come out. I always recommend Jared's stack for anything mobile if you're looking for laptop reviews. Jared does fantastic work, so go check out his review, with most of the reviews being with the Razer Blade 16 with an RTX 5090. The rest of the GPU should be review embargoed today, according to reports. Hot Hardware did get their hands on the AHX18. But one interesting thing to know is that all of these are AMD-based CPUs in these laptops. This is one of the very first times we've seen something like this, where AMD is actually the chip that's happening in these Nvidia flagship reviews. And in case you want just the breakdown, it's the fastest gaming graphics card in laptop ever, faster 4090 than that. Good fast. Stupid expensive, gonna be close to $5,000 for the Razer Blade 16. Also, the reviews are dropping yesterday, but the actual release date for the Razer Blade 16 for anybody who purchased it, I believe, is April 30th. So there's a month wait even still now that the reviews have come out. And you guys don't have to wait for Reece anymore. He's gonna give you the deals.
Yo, welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. And happy Friday, everyone. Hope you guys have a good weekend ahead. And I'm going into it sick, as you can maybe hear. But hey, hopefully it gets better over the weekend. But speaking of deals, starting off today, we have the SK Hynix Platinum P41 Gen 4 NVMe M.2 SSD with the 1TB going for $71.99, making it $21 off. But then next up, we have a favorite of mine, the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro wired closed-back headphones, which you can grab for only $169.99, making it $100 off. And then lastly, to round out the deals today, we have this Acer Nitro 27-inch 1440p 300Hz IPS gaming monitor, which you can currently pick up for only $219.99, making it $130 off. And hey, with that, the deals are done. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, gonna hand you off back to Brett for the rest of your hot news. Cheers.
Well, Reece, I don't think this is a good deal, but if you're looking for a minimalistic smartphone, the Light Phone 3 got announced and is available for pre-order in case you want it. It's a black and white OLED screen that can do very minimal things. It's essentially meant to be just a light phone. Get it? It's a play on words, if you will. It does have other capabilities besides just making phone calls, but it doesn't have third-party apps, so you can't access social media, internet, email, anything like that. But it does have an NFC chip in case you want to do mobile payments. You can play music, podcasts. It has a messaging app, a flashlight, voice notes, calendar, timer, an alarm, and also it has a camera. It can take colored pictures even if the display is in black and white for you. But when I mentioned deal, it is not cheap by any means. It's launching at a $799 price point, except for if you pre-order, they say it comes in at $599. Yikes. That's a lot of money for a phone that's supposed to be cut down. Let me know if this interests you at all. But, maybe you do want to get Facebook on a little minimalist phone. Who knows? But in case any of you have Gen X or Boomer parents, you're going to want to tell them about this next news story because Facebook's going back to the way things were. OG Facebook allegedly going to be hitting the scene on Facebook's app because they're revamping the friends feed to not just be recommendations of new friends you're supposed to have, but rather that's going to be the content that your friends post from your friends. The thing that Facebook was, it's gonna be back to the way it was. And Nintendo's slightly going back to the way things were before we had digital downloads where you can kind of share games across with just the physical media. And they're doing that via the way of a virtual game card system. So you're gonna have a game card that you plug into your Switch, which will then allow you to export your games onto that virtual game card, which you can then plug into another Switch and they can play those games. After a first initial internet handshake between the two Switch devices, they no longer have to be on any sort of internet connection whatsoever in order to make this work, which is one of the big issues with how Nintendo currently does game sharing across multiple libraries is the fact that you have to be online to verify that the initial Switch is not playing games at the same time that you're trying to play it. This way, it gets offloaded from your Switch and then put on somebody else's, and then it makes it so that they can have that for as long as they want. However, there is another setup that they'll have where it is family loans, where you can only do one game at a time and it lasts for 2 weeks, kind of like a library loan. So it's slightly different if you want multiple people, but if you're only separating between two systems, you can use this virtual game card. This is coming out with Nintendo having a one last direct before we find out about the Switch 2. This is something that kind of helps make it easier to share video games between friends and family members, but it's not necessarily as good as it once was when it came to just letting somebody borrow your cartridge, which you can still do. This is just allowing people to share their digital downloads in a way that's a little bit more efficacious. And if you're looking for a high VRAM GPU, the RTX 4090 48 gig might be more efficacious for your use case, with a teardown coming by way of a Russian YouTuber showing off the various different aspects of this RTX 4090 monstrosity that has double the VRAM of what the actual 4090 has, but it's more of a monstrosity than you actually think it is, because it's not, as far as we know, based on the RTX 40 series PCB, because those only allow you to have 12 memory slots, as well as the 3090 Ti. Those are both 12 memory slot PCBs. So what it looks like, according to the teardown, is that this is an RTX 3090 that then had a RTX 4090, taking the GPU die off of that and putting it onto a 3090, which is making a lot of sense why we're seeing a lot more scams of RTX 4090s having their GPU dies removed, because they're being put onto 3090s with higher memory module amounts to make these 48 gig 4090s. And in fact, I did a short on this GPU right here that's been sitting on our shelves. Somebody contacted me to let me know that they got scammed with this RTX 4090, because once you go under the hood, even though this looks like a functioning card, the die is not connected because they don't actually need the PCB on the RTX 4090. They need to take that die and put it on the 3090 die so that they can then allow for 48 gigs of memory, because they have 24 memory slots and then you have 2 gigabyte modules. So once that person contacted me with that 4090 story, because they weren't trying to get anything out of me, I just gave them a 5080 out of our stockpile. As long as they could prove that this was a scam, They sent it to me, and then I sent them a 5080, so it would sting a little less for them. But according to the reports, this 4090 48 gig works in Windows, works with regular drivers according to the benchmarks that are in this video. It's about as good as gaming as the 24 gig version, but it's louder because it's a blower style card. It's hotter, and it only has a 425 watt TDP, which makes it seem like it's a 4090D, not a regular 4090. So this isn't a great GPU. It's there if you need the 48 gigs of memory being tacked on to a cheaper graphics card. Technically, it's slower than the 5090 when it comes to gaming, but it has 50% more VRAM. It has 100% more VRAM than the 4090. But as mentioned, this is likely why we're seeing a lot of scams, with people even pointing out that there's a bunch of ads that they're seeing of 4090s without chips and memories that you can just go and get, because then you can sell those for $1,000, which is what happened with the person who got scammed with that 4090. And then by the time you take it home, because it looks like a functioning graphics card, you find out that it doesn't work. It's a big bummer. But you guys don't bum me out ever when it comes to the comments. Let's see what you had to say in yesterday's episode of Hot News. We had I'm Spencer saying, this luxury handbag that you never cared about now costs 30% more than its original, also ridiculous price. People line up to buy that luxury handbag, but only 10 were available at the store. This is how I feel whenever the 5090 is mentioned. I get it. But did you hear that the Astral GPU, the liquid cool one, is selling for $3,700, and now they're kind of sitting on Micro Center store shelves because people aren't buying them at that high price? I've seen multiple stores that have close to 10 of these GPUs, just so you can go buy them if you wanted to, in case you want to spend nearly 2 times what the 5090 originally cost, in case you want to spend more money than what you can buy a scalped 5090 for. You can get the Astral liquid cooled version. Does that make you feel better? Is that fitting in your analogy of luxury handbag? I think it is. And Kid Berman saying, oh, I'm sure Google, the evil corporation moving Android development behind closed doors, isn't a massive red flag for consumers or privacy. I read a lot of commentary on this about, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? And I mean, there is a lot of doomsaying when it comes to overall how this could screw a lot of people, or various different custom versions of Android over. But a lot of commentary that I did see ignores the fact that a lot of development was already being done in private. It's just certain sections are now also being done in private. So it's not like they privatized the whole thing all at once. Certain things like the main aspects of Android were still always being developed in private, not in public. And allegedly, we'll have to wait and see if this is true. This should lead to less issues moving forward, according to the analyses that I saw, but I also get the complete distrust of Google in this situation, where they have to prove themselves before anybody can trust them. And then we got Goner Milei saying, you know, there has not really been a lot of news about Intel GPUs in the last little bit. Hope they have something interesting in the oven right now. I don't know what's going on with Intel, right? They got rid of their past CEO, they got a new one. That past CEO has been spewing his thoughts everywhere on the internet, talking smack about Nvidia, Intel, AI, TSMC. He likes to stir up the pot a little bit when it comes to his comments on the tech scene. I haven't heard anything reputable about higher end battle mage cards. Celestial's supposed to be in the works, we're supposed to be getting it. I don't have anything for you. I haven't heard anything either. Maybe we're just gonna be left with B580. That's the highest end one that we get at the $280 price point. And Tom's Hardware just released an evaluation of like actual pricing of GPUs, what you can actually buy them for, and their like value per dollar that you're getting out of them. And the Arc 750 or 770, one of the first gen Arc cards is the best value that you can get on the market right now. And I think the B580 wasn't too far behind that. So it's still valuable. And I mean, it's not that far from launch, when they launch in October or something like that. I mean, we're barely 6 months out from that. We just want more. We want more. We want newer. We want faster. We want now. And I want to be done with Hot News now, because I'm still massively jet lagged. I'm so exhausted. Today has been rough for me. Yesterday we got home and I felt great to film Hot News. I was exhausted, but not like I've been feeling today, which is like a pile of mush. As Michael put it, my body's been feeling like it's 10 p.m. all day. So I'm gonna go treat my body to a little bit of rest, and I'll see you guys back here for Hot News on Tuesday, I believe. It should be Tuesday.